First, would like to send my condolences before I start this video to the lives of those children that was killed today in Minneapolis, and another one of America's mass shooting epidemic. And this is my second channel. I've said it before on my previous channels. I think the last mass shooting, I can't recall so many, but I said there would be another one, and I will say this again, and after this one, there will be another one. Not that I'm wishing for that to happen, but this is the situation of the United States of America. And in my opinion, if it's not the most dangerous country in the world, and I've traveled to all other continents except Antarctica, it's up there. And even ChatGPT puts it up there. It's nowhere near the safest country in the world. Not even in the top 50, not even in the top 100. And with these reports, sometimes they like to sugarcoat the situation, but in my opinion, from my knowledge and from my information, this is the most dangerous country in the world, hands down. And the reason why it's the most dangerous country in the world is because there's more guns in the hands of its citizens than there are people. In addition to that, it's a society that's based off of rugged capitalism. As you can look at my last video, I talk about capitalism versus socialism, or more so of a socialist type of society. But capitalism, the stress of living in a rugged, dog-eat-dog, capitalistic environment that the United States has, puts all these pressures and all these stress on people, the inequality, especially among younger men from the ages of, say, teenager age up until early 40s. The stress of the dating market, that also is a lot of this incel culture, and the fact that this country over-sexualizes everything. So what it creates in its male is they over-sexualize everything in TV and commercials, now on social media and billboards. And then the women of this population are heavily sexualized. They walk around half nude, and if one of these males even try to talk to them, they get criminalized for even trying to talk to them, or they get aggressively rejected, made to feel like they're creeps, just for being naturally attracted to a female figure, heterosexual male, and the fact that these women are advertising themselves as sexual objects. It is just a reality, and so this creates a lot of frustrated male. And then the law system doesn't do anything to help that, because it criminalizes prostitution. It criminalizes that because I don't know why. Honestly, maybe because they not getting the taxes off of it yet. I know in Nevada, in a certain area of Nevada, it is legal, but overall it's not legal. But the funny thing about it, if you go to most other countries, some Western countries, but other countries, it's legal. Why? Because there's an understanding that the frustrations it is to be a man, just to exist. And then on top of that, the selectiveness of women. That women only go after the top 10 to 1% of men They only go over after the top 10% or 1% of men. That just adds another thing to the pot, because all they doing is chasing the top. So that leaves out 86% to 90% of males that don't even get chosen, and they don't have an outlet. They don't have an outlet, right? In the countries where it's legal, they have an outlet. Okay, you're not a part of the 10% that can just get women just based on the strength, but you can go to the brothel right down the street and for a reasonable price, satisfy your needs, get that frustration out. Because, oh, and also, may I add to that, the corn industry. The corn industry also adds to that, because the access at your fingertips to the availability of corn also adds another layer to the situation, because now you got all these young males that are consuming heavy amounts of corn and engaging in masturbational release. But all that does really is just builds up that desire that they can never fulfill because they're not in the top 10%. So you got all these factors that contribute to this violence, this rise of violence in this country, and violence promoted in the media. So that's why I believe that the U.S. is the most dangerous country in the world, or in the top highest, most dangerous countries. I know you can look at the situation that's going on with the Palestinians and say that's very bad, and it is very bad. They're facing genocide. They are being genocide. But this is a violence as a consequence of this so-called chosen people's quest and their leaders' quest for domination of the whole area. The violence that happens in the United States is just random. There is no rhyme, no cause, no reason for this violence. It just happens. And nowhere in this country is safe. You cannot go nowhere and not feel that at any second, at any moment, it can go down. You know, this one that happened today was in a church where the children were, a Roman church where the children were conducting worship. And there's been other ones that happened in a church. I know we remember the thing with the white supremacist Dylan Roth, and how he went into church and I believe it was in Charleston, North Carolina, and he just massacred these people. So, like I said, nowhere in the U.S., you don't know where it's going to happen, when it's going to happen. You know what I'm saying? But from what I see and looking at the history here, and then the history, and then the trajectory, it's just going to be another one. I mean, it's just going to get. Nobody knows where it's going to be. Nobody knows when it's going to be. But the environment that is created in the United States of America are also should be known as the United Snakes of America, is that it's going to be another one. It's going to be another one. And that's just the reality of this environment that's been created here, and the Babylon that was talked about in the Bible. This is the Babylon. This is it. We are in the belly of the beast. So what can we do? I wouldn't, some will say, well, we all just flee. No, I don't think we should all flee, because I don't think that element that's in the U.S. should be taken anywhere else and ruin that country or ruin that particular place. I think the people that don't want to exist in this type of reality, that really truly don't want to exist in that type of reality, those are the only ones that should leave. Not let individuals that love this chaos, that love this madness, that feel that they're superior because of their skin color or whatever, let them stay here and let them deal with it, And the people that wants to get away from that, they should be the ones that go, that don't want to bring that toxic that toxic environment to another country and poison that environment. Those are the only ones that should go. The other ones should stay and, you know, be in the burning bush until it self-implodes on itself. So with that being said, like, share, and subscribe. I'll holler at y'all later. Peace.